Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Michael Gomes with the Michelle Pies Group of Signature Realty. Today, I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. Absorption rates, how to win on terms versus price, and also how to build instant equity with an FHA 203K, something that I've been harping on for quite some time. And I think that this market, although it's shifting, I think that this is a great market for you to win with an FHA 203K, and I'll explain later on. So let's talk about the market. For those of you who call me all the time and asking me, Mike, how's the market doing? Well, the market is always great for us as real estate agents because we're always working. But for sellers, here's what I'm going to tell you right now. The market is shifting. It's been a seller's market for the last 3 to 4 years. Today, I can tell you that there's clear evidence that absorption rates are rising, which means inventory is increasing, demand is slowly decreasing. As you can see, interest rates are also rising, and it's causing a shift in the market. I predict that by next year, we will be in a full-blown buyer's market. And if you have a house that you want to put on the market, I recommend that you put it on the market today. And the reason why I say that is because, yes, a lot of people have this misconception that putting the house on the market in the spring is the best time ever. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Just like you are thinking that, every other seller is also thinking the same exact thing. And what you don't want to do is flood the market with too much inventory, because what that causes is an extreme amount of a shift in the market, and now you have too much inventory per buyer, and your buyer pool obviously begins to shrink because there's too much competition. You don't want to do that. The winter market as well as the fall market is a perfect opportunity for you to capitalize. There are less buyers, but I can tell you right now that the majority of the buyers are not window shoppers. If they're out there looking at homes in 40 and 30 degree weather, that's because they're looking to buy a home immediately. And with the rise of interest rates, I can tell you that a lot of buyers have gotten up from their seats and they're serious about buying a home. They want to purchase a home before the next interest rate hike. And based on what I've been reading lately, based on Jeff Otto, who is very well recognized in the real estate industry across the nation, he is saying that interest rates will be within the 6 to 7% within the next 12 months to 18 months. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if that's going to be true, but I can tell you that if a year ago you told me that interest rates were going to be close to the 5s, if not in the 5s, I probably would have told you that that's impossible. Well, that's where we're at right now. So I would have to be inclined to agree with Jeff Otto. I think that with rising inflation, you're going to see interest rates rising even more. But let's see what happens. So let's talk about absorption rates and what it means. It just means that it's the amount of months of supply that's in the market. So if on average if on average 11 or 12 homes tend to sell per month in a particular area, and there's 55 homes on the market, that tells me that there's 5 months worth of supply. And that's what dictates the absorption rate. Now, if we were to compare absorption rate back in 2014, 2015, 16 till today, I can tell you that the absorption rate years ago, 2-3 years ago, was a lot less. Absorption rates are increasing between 5 and 6. And what that means, it's 5 to 6 months of supply. And that's a telltale sign of where the market is heading. That is why I know by next year we will be in a full-blown buyer's market. That doesn't mean that it's still not a good time to sell. It's always a good time to sell. You just have to price your home accordingly. So as I told you, inventory is increasing month by month. And one of the telltale signs that is actually a little bit interesting is that in the last month, not just in New Jersey, but in many other states, the amount of price reductions have been significant. Again, I repeat, the amount of price reductions have been significant. That's telling me that there are less buyers out there and that there's more inventory. So again, I urge you, if you're going to sell your home, whether it's with me or another real estate agent, price it correctly according to the market, because there's a lot more inventory, and that increases your competition. There's more houses for buyers to see. As I mentioned before, interest rates are rising. That could be a problem. Some people are now, basically going back to the little corner and saying, you know what, let's wait and see. That might not be the good move after I told you that Jeff Otto has said that we are probably going to be somewhere between 6 to 7% in the next 12 to 18 months. Also now, the other And the other retrospect is that other people, what they're doing is they're saying, let me go out there now and buy a home because I don't want to be at an interest rate that's even higher than what it is now. People feel that they missed the boat about a year ago. So now, basically there's a sense of urgency and they're going out and they're buying. So I do still see that the market is healthy. I'm not saying otherwise. The market is still healthy. There's plenty of buyers out there. There's plenty of sellers out there. You just have to make sure that you price your home accordingly to this market. And remember, even though real estate or value when it comes to real estate is based on the last 6 months, a lot of buyers, their frame of mind, their mindset is based on the future value within the next 6 months. So remember that when you're selling your home. If you're looking to sell and you want to sell quickly, price it accordingly, right? If the median price in your area is 400 and you're looking to sell within 2 to 3 weeks, price it under 400,000. There's no such thing as underpricing a property. I'll give you an example. I have a listing right now at 137 West Scott Avenue in Rahway. I priced it at $299. I knew that if I priced it at $315, $319, where it's actually worth, I probably wouldn't have gotten as many people interested in the property, probably wouldn't have gotten as many buyers and offers. I priced it at $299. It hit the market on Friday. Today's Monday. Hit the market on Friday. I have 18 confirmed showings in the last 3 days. I can guarantee you that if I priced it out at $315 to $319, I probably would have had a quarter of that. So again, I urge you, I reiterate this fact all the time. If you're looking to sell within the next 30 days or even before that, underprice it a little bit. The worst that can happen is that you have multiple offers and your real estate agent, if he's a professional, he's going to learn or he's going to know how to leverage those offers together so you can get top dollar in the shortest period of time. Okay, so if you want to talk more in detail regarding that, feel free to give me a call. I would love to have a conversation. Now, I have mentioned about winning on terms, not always on price. There is a lot of competition right now in the market, especially in homes, or rather at homes between $300,000 to $400,000. And I'm going to tell you that not always the highest offer wins. Make your terms very attractive. And you're probably asking yourself, Mike, what does it mean, make your terms attractive? Make the closing flexible. So instead of saying that you're going to close within 45 days, tell them that you can close within 21 to 30 days. All of the buyers that I'm working with right now currently, what I'm doing with them is before I even show them a home, I'm not even getting them pre-approved. I'm getting them to submit their paperwork with the bank and actually getting an approval, a mortgage commitment that's contingent to an appraisal. So that way, when I'm making an offer for my client, and I know that there's going to be a case where it's multiple bids, my client has a stronger chance of getting his or her offer accepted because now I'm attaching my offer with an actual mortgage approval that's contingent to an appraisal, and we can close within 14 to 21 days. And that makes your terms a lot better than the next person who could only close within 45 days. And guess what? That person doesn't even know if he can actually or she can actually close because they have a mortgage pre-approval, not an approval. An approval just means that they got their file actually underwritten, whereas a pre-approval with some banks means that they actually picked up the phone, they told them what they made, they told them what their credit scores were, and that's it. And they're going based on their word. So get your mortgage approved rather than a pre-approval. I can tell you right now, you're going to thank me later. Also, equity building. I spoke briefly a couple of weeks ago on FHA 203K, and in this market where we've seen a tremendous amount of properties that are distressed, FHA 203K is your best friend. This is a great opportunity where you as a buyer, if you're losing out on opportunities because people are overbidding, here's a great opportunity for you to be able to compete with a lot less buyers because a lot of real estate agents do not understand 203K. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you talk about 203K as a buyer to a real estate agent, most of them are saying, they're running away because they don't understand it. And the misconception about 203K is that sellers are not inclined to accept it. And I'm telling you right now, that's not true. If the property is distressed, and when I say distressed, meaning if it needs an updated kitchen, if the bathrooms are not in great condition, the FHA 203K is a perfect loan for you to get money for the construction, for the repairs. So now you can purchase, let's say, a home for $250,000, spend about $50,000, and you have a home that could be very well worth somewhere between $375,000 to $400,000. What do you think real estate flippers do? That's what they do all day long. They're getting a hard money loan. They're paying off the house in cash sometimes. They're fixing the property and they're putting it back on a market and they're making profits. So you're not making a profit, but you're building instant equity. And that's what a lot of buyers, that's what they want today. So it's a perfect way, like I said, a great opportunity for you as the buyer to build that equity. So if you want to hear more about building equity, shoot me a call. My telephone number is 201-757-4760. I can explain to you a lot when it comes to FHA 283K because prior to being a full-time real estate agent, I was actually a full-time mortgage loan officer for various banks in the past. And one of the banks I worked for was Bank of America. Now with Bank of America, I was one of, I think, 12 or 13 people back in 2009 that was trained to be an FHA 283K specialist. So I understand the product very well, and I can tell you this product can be extremely valuable to a buyer, to the consumer, as well as to a real estate agent himself. Talk to you next week.